Juba, hello. My name is Iago, I'm from Georgia. Now we are in my winery, in Viaggio winery, in Chardaki, the village. And we make wine here by traditional method in clay vessels, which is specially put in underground. It's a very old tradition, and it's a part of the culture for Georgia. We know the history of making wine in clay vessels is around 8,000 years old. And the name of these clay vessels by Georgian is scoprire. It's not amphora, it's not zinafa. By Georgian is scoprire. It's very important. And important is not only clay vessels and not only scoprire. The technology also is very important, because this technology is in the list of the heritage of the UNESCO, which they put in 2012. And what is the different technology? We know all in the world how they make white wine. They press the grape, but we can show some pictures. What's this? This is my grape variety, Chinuri. In Georgia, historically, we have 525 grape varieties. We are a very small country, but it means every region we can meet different grape, different wine, different type of the climate, the soil, and terroir. Absolutely, it's very interesting. We are now in central part of the Georgia. The region name is Kartli, and this grape variety is local grape, the Chinuri. Harvest we have in October. We have around 60 years old vineyard, and from 1 hectare we take only 3.5 ton grapes. And our technology is when we don't press this grape, we little bit crush, and only after that all grape with skin, with stems, with seeds, everything we put in underground, in clay vessels, in scoprire. Of course, we don't use a specialist, and by natural wild it starts fermentation. After the 2, maximum 3 days, we have like this fermentation process. And for fermentation, we use big clay vessels, around 1,000, minimum 1,000 ton, 1,000 liters. And when fermentation process starts, the temperature always go up. Sometimes it comes 25, 27, and we use this wooden stick for mixing, to pushing down 2 times, 3 times, 5 times a day. It depends how active is the fermentation, and for this we cooling down the temperature, like this. And important is what picture we have during the fermentation. During the fermentation we have like this picture. During the fermentation all skin and stems is upstairs and wine is down. When fermentation process finish and when we close, the skin and stems start slowly go down, wine go up, and this is a process of natural filtration of this wine, and finally we will have like this picture. All sediment with skin and stems will be down, and here will be absolutely clearly natural filtration wine. For example, when we open, our wine has like this color, and we don't use any other filter. Our wine has different color, like amber, gold color. Sometimes the name of this wine in Europe is orange wine, but we like amber wine. And the tasting also is different, because during the 6 months from the skin, from the stems, from the seeds go to wine more ferments, phenols, tannics, and wine has different color and different tasting also. And when we take this wine, which is upstairs, this clean wine, for the sediment, for the skin and stems, which we have below, we directly go inside in this scoprire. By hand we take everything from there, and from the skin and stems we distillate jaja, like grappa. It's our distillation place. Thank you very much, and welcome to Georgia.
This is a vineyard which is, as I already told, in village Bakutsikhe. We have several small vineyards in Bakutsikhe. This one is a little bit upper, around 300-400 meters upper, another one. And we have, let's call it main or majority of vineyards in the neighbor village, which is the name of village is Kadenachi, and the name of vineyards too, terroirs is Tarapi and Achoebi.
And his name from his terroir is Chortauli.
And this terroir is named Chortauli. We have two main varieties. This is Katsiteli white grapes and Saperavi red one. And also we have a small vineyard, as I told you already, not far from here, around 300 meters, which is Gorulimtsvane. Yes, these are three types of different varieties.
In small quantity, Kachurimtsvane and Chichui.
So all these quarries that you see here, these quarries are 1,000 liters each, and we have some smaller quarries as well, which is in the next corner there, which I don't know if you can see it there.
ასე იგი ქვევრის ღვინის ქვევრის თავისებურება ის არის რომ თავარი თავისებურება ის არის რომ ქვევრი კარგია როგორც ღვინის დადუღებისათვის ასევე ღვინის შესანახად.
So what is the main peculiarity of the quarries? That the quarry is very good for fermentation as well as for the storage. So in general we use the old Kahetian technique.
No, not only Kahetian.
Old method of winemaking, which means to make the wine with the skin contact.
კახეთის მე კახური მეთოდი იმიტომ ქვია რომ ძირითადად საქართველოში კახეთში შემოინახა ეს ტრადიცია უფრო უმეტესად.
Why they call it Kahetian method? Because we Georgians call it Kahetian method of winemaking because mostly in Kaheti region it's still using this method of winemaking with the skin contact. So as usual we keep wine in the quarries for 17-18 months.
აი ხა უკანასკნელ ხანებში ბოლოს წელიწადი და 9-8 თვე გავაჩერეთ.
But this very last one, 2015 wine, we kept 21 months. So historically, quarry was made in Georgia in nearly all the regions of Georgia, in western and eastern Georgia, because it was the only vessel during the thousands of years in Georgia.
მე-19 საუკუნის მე დაახლოებით მე-18-ის ბოლოში მე-19-ის საუკუნეში უკვე შემოვიდა კასრი, მერე და სხვა ჭურჭლების უკვე რა თქმა უნდა ლითონის ჭურჭლები და ასე შემდეგ და ნელ-ნელა ქვევრის წარმოება და გახდა უფრო მცირე და მცირე.
So in the end of 18th century and in 19th century mainly, there were many other vessels were introduced in Georgia, like the oak barrels, like the stainless steel, and etc. etc. So the quarry making tradition became narrower, narrower, and narrower. So in less places they continue to do quarries.
ძიმე მდგომარეობა მექვეურეობის თვალსაზრისით საბჭოთა პერიოდში იყო, იმიტომ რომ არც ერთი ღვინის ქარხანა აღარ ხმარობდა როგორც რამდენიმე, მაგრამ ძალიან ცოტა. განსაკუთრებით ბოლო ხანებში თავიდან ხმარობდნენ, აი სადაც უკვე 60-იან წლებიდან უკვე თითქმის აღარ იყენებდნენ.
In regards of quarry making and making wine in quarries, the situation became harder and harder and harder in Soviet time, and in 1960-97 it became too hard because these big plants, the big wine factories, none of them they used quarries for wine making.
90-იანი წლების მერე უკვე პრაქტიკულად თითქმის ესე ვინც დარჩა, მხოლოდ ენთუზიასტები დარჩენ, რამდენიმე ოჯახი, მაგალითად კახეთში, სულ 3 ოჯახი დარჩა მექვევრეების.
So in the 1990s, it was just in Cajeti, for example, it was just only three families who continued to make queries. You can call them enthusiasts continuing this tradition.
მე ტყუილა არ მიხსენები ოჯახი, რომ ეს ტრადიციულად იყო ოჯახური მრეწველობა, ოჯახური საქმიანობა, მექვევრეობა.
So I mentioned family for a purpose because the query making was the family tradition or family craft, let's say so.
ძალიან დიდი დროის განმავლობაში თაობიდან თაობაში გადაეცემოდა ეს.
Which for the centuries went from the generation to generation, from grandfather to father, from father to children, etc. Starting from 2004, we bought queries from two families.
ესაც რომ მკითხოთ იმ ოჯახს, იმთუჩი გეტყვია, რომ ჩვენ იდის მერე დაიწყო მათი რენესანსი, მათი საქმიანობა.
And if you ask them now, they both will confirm that after us we purchased their queries, their business started to renaissance, let's say so, to survive again.
ოჯახების რაოდენობა არ გაზრდილა, წარმოებული ოჯახები, ის ტრადიციები დაკარგა იმ ოჯახებმა და აღარ არსებობს, უბრალოდ ვინც შეინარჩუნა დღეს შეიძლება არ ვიცი კიდე გაჩნდეს ახალი, მაგრამ დღესდღეობით ისევ ის სამი ოჯახია, ვინც ამას აკეთებს.
So till now there are again these three families which continue making queries. Not more. Maybe in future some other families will be included in this business or craft, but not for now. But their production of these three families, their production increased and increased and increased during the last decade a little bit and a little bit more. And now it's even quite difficult to find the query to buy for buying query here in Cajeti.